Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH, the Flame Emperor. So let's start. In the sky, Yin Xie's smile froze instantly. At this moment, he finally understood why the Nine Souls Monument was wasting time with himself. It turned out that Xiao Yan was preparing a powerful blow. At this time, Xiao Yan was full of silver-white fighting spirit, and the long sword in her hand was filled with terrifying energy, causing the surrounding space to burst slightly. Blood Moon kill, break the army. With Xiao Yan shouting loudly, the long sword in her hand savagely attacked Yin and Evil. Immediately, the terrifying power above the long sword gathered in a crescent moon, and was attacking the evil spirits rapidly. The blood mist instantly increased several times, trying to resist this terrifying blow. The terrifying offensive on the long sword turned into a crescent moon, roaring away at the evil spirit. The gloomy ghost laughed a few times, and Yin Xie was not at all afraid of Xiao Yan's attack. When the terrifying grey meniscus attacked, Yin Xie just put his hands in front of him and shouted, "Blood 10 directions." As Yin Xie's loud shout fell, a slanted cross light suddenly appeared in front of it silently. Boom boom boom. The terrifying meniscus slammed heavily on the cross light of the evil blood mist, making an extremely harsh friction sound. The dazzling blood-red cross light and the strong grey meniscus sword light met in the air, and there was a loud noise, like a thunderous thunder, and the ground space trembled. The terrifying ripples scattered all over the place, forcing Xiao Yan and the others to take a few steps back before they stopped. Seeing Xiao Yan's shot, the Juhun monument snorted lightly, and his body swelled up, and then the whole body was covered with a powerful red light, like a dragon flying into the sky, and appeared above the evil in a blink of an eye, with a scorching heat that devoured everything. Power, cut to the bottom. Dragon's sad hand. Not far away, everyone's pupils also shrank tightly, because they could feel it, whether it was Xiao Yan's blood moon killing Po Jun, or Juhun's dragon sad hand, what it contained in it could destroy the sky and destroy the earth. Xiao Yan stood quietly in the same place, with a faint twinkle in his eyes, staring at the corpse, very concealed, not knowing what he was doing. "Master, aren't these twin ghost emperors only half? How can their strength be so terrifying?" Xiao Yan also murmured, because from Xiao Yan's perception, this evil spirit is actually not afraid of Xiao Yan and Juhun Bei. You must know that these two are genuine 7-star fighting emperor. This evil spirit is stronger than you think. Nine Soul Steely and Xiao Yan should also know this, and they showed their true abilities when they attacked at the very beginning. However, this evil spirit seems to have some plans. I always find it strange that the evil yin in the cold pond seems to have disappeared. The Golden Dragon King also said solemnly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan didn't ask any more questions. After all, he couldn't get involved in a battle of this level, but Xiao Yan was not idle either. The strange fire in his body slowly gathered and merged. A rather beautiful fire lotus was also slow. Form slowly. Let's act on a whim. Xiao Yan also murmured. In the sky, the sinister terrifying cross-red light and the crescent moon of Xiao Yan were intertwined, and a monstrous explosion erupted. The shocking explosion was also slowly disappearing, but the terrifying energy it produced gave everyone in the entire infernal corpse forest couldn't help but take a deep breath. As the two terrorist attacks have just disappeared, the attack of the Nine Soul Monument is also imminent. When Yin Xie and Xiao Yan confronted each other, the Nine Souls Monument came to the top of Yin Xie. Seeing that Yingxiheng and Xiao Yan's crescent moon were constantly fighting against each other, it also sank slightly, and then the terrifying fighting chi burst out instantly. Take a photo of yourself below. Take it with a palm. Bringing up a monstrous red light, the fiery red light beam turned into an extremely ferocious dragon, roaring away at the evil below. Boom boom boom. At this time, Yin Xie had just finished dealing with Xiao Yan, and the breath in his body was disordered, so the attack of the Nine Soul Monument also directly attacked the blood mist of Yin Xie. As the attack of the Nine Souls Monument fell, the original blood-red blood mist on the evil body became a little illusory. The cracks are also very obvious. Obviously, the blood mist above Yin Xie's body blocked all the power of the Nine Souls Monument, but the blood mist was also on the verge of collapse. Humph. Yin Xie sneered, and then suddenly increased the aura in his body, the momentum soared, and instantly shook Xiao Yan and the Nine Soul Monument away. Roar. The terrifying dragon contains extremely pure power, and it is attacked by evil spirit. Although the evil spirits temporarily shook the Nine Souls Monument and Xiao Yan away, the attack of the Nine Souls Monument also caused him great damage. Because the layer of blood mist above Yin Xie's body is also part of his strength, the blood mist was severely damaged, and Yin Xie's body was also in chaos. Damn it, I still underestimated the two of you. Yin Xie also said with a bad expression. Obviously, he had just broken through the seal and his strength had not recovered, but he was attacked by the two of them. Yin Xie was also overwhelmed. In the field, a fierce battle is taking place between the two and the evil spirit. At this time, Xiao Yang has continuously released his soul power and even the spiritual power, trying to find out the secrets of the evil. But no matter what Xiao Yang did, the result was the same, that is, there was a very strange mysterious power in this evil spirit, which concealed the evil spirit inside and maintained its powerful and strange aura. As for what it was, Xiao Yang couldn't find it out, because as soon as his soul power got close to that mysterious power, it would be swallowed up, and it was completely impossible to probe into the details. While Xiao Yang was investigating Yin Xie, under the attack of He Juhun tablet and Xiaoye, Yin Xie suddenly turned his attention to Xiao Yang. How can there be a familiar and strange aura in this human being? This kid should have something from our ghost world. Yin Xie also shrank his pupils tightly, seems to have launched some kind of attack on Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang also coughed violently, covering the blood in his mouth with his hand. The power of this evil spirit is really tyrannical. Xiao Yang also secretly said, but he never thought that his ordinary soul power of the Emperor realm was still easily discovered by him, and he fought back. Xiao Yang's every move was very obscure and was not discovered by others, because everyone at this time was focused on the battle in the sky. They all know it. That was a battle between the 3 7-star Do Di powerhouses. Watching at such a close distance is also beneficial to their future cultivation, but more importantly, they knew that once Xiaoye and the 9-soul monument were defeated, what was waiting for them was, pass my order, be careful around you, if there are other ghosts approaching, kill. Wu Jiang's ruthless voice was also transmitted on the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest, and the crowd gathered at this time. Damn it! Why is the aura of evil Yin getting weaker and weaker? And why did Yuquan and Yu Mei disappear? Yin Xie also retreated in the face of the two men's terrifying and fierce offensive, and he was also angry in his heart. In the sky, the power of the two together is very powerful, and they have already controlled the evil within a certain range. However, the two also tried to destroy it, but no matter how they attacked, they couldn't hit the evil body. 9-soul monument, if we continue like this, we will be consumed to death by this ghost emperor. This is the infernal corpse forest. And it's still a cloudy moon. You should know better than me. Xiaoye is also constantly attacking the evil spirits, but the voice in her mouth also entered the ears of the 9 souls monument. Xiaoye also had a fluctuating expression in her eyes. She glanced at the 9 souls monument next to it that was also attacking, and asked, Senior, can you think of any way to do it? If we go on like this, I'm afraid we'll be exhausted and we won't be able to kill this thing. It's not impossible to kill this corpse. It's just that we don't have good weapons, so we can't break his defense against this corpse. The 9 soul Steely also said it in one sentence. When Xiaoye heard the words, she also turned her pupils slightly to look in a certain direction, not knowing what she was thinking. It's just where Xiaoye looked. It was the place where Xiao Yang stood. Xiao Yang also felt a very bad look when Xiaoye saw her here. Xiao Yang, borrow the fairy sword in your hand. Xiaoye also looked at Xiao Yang and looked at her, and then said. When everyone heard this, they were also shocked. Xiao Yang, is that the one who took advantage of it? Mu Yingying stood beside the heavenly fire sacred tiger, biting her lips slightly, obviously a little surprised. Little ancestor, this Xiao Yang is not easy. Don't underestimate the enemy. The human-like heavenly fire sacred tiger also said. This time, Mu Yingying surprisingly did not refute, and her beautiful eyes looked at the man named Xiao Yang. Like. There are familiar things. Mu Yingying also looked at her blankly. It's actually Xiao Yang. But at the moment, the point-grabbing competition should also be forced to be interrupted. If we don't solve this evil thing in front of us, then our end will be. Luo Guang also said, he knew that Xiao Yang would definitely not be a fuel-efficient lamp, but he did not have a holiday, although his companion wanted to his points, but he did not do anything, so he could not say the enemy. The woman in front of Luo Guang also nodded in agreement with Luo Guang's statement. The matter of points should be put aside for a while. Qiu Huanyao was also jealous of the points in Xiao Yang's hands, but at this time he also knew the magnitude of the matter, so he watched the battle in the sky solemnly. Xiao Yang, I have to figure it out. How can you have the blood of our snake people in your body? Said a woman who was also a contestant. That is. Twin ghost emperors, Lord Yin Xie. The ghost spirits were also excited. Mueller also smiled in agreement. He could feel the terrifying power of this sinister evil, and it would be easy to deal with Xiao Yang. Go. Once someone blocks Lord Yin Xie, kill Wuxia, the ghost spirit also said, and then the figures behind him also followed. Under the cover of the cloudy moon, the dark figure could not be clearly seen without careful observation. Do you want to do it now? Hongye also asked gently. Wait, there are still some things in this evil spirit that have not been revealed. Yuquan also said slowly. Yuquan can feel that even if the evil is besieged by the two 7-star Do Emperor powerhouses, the ghost energy in the body is also there is no weakening in the slightest, and it is even continuously increasing. When Xiao Yang heard the words, he paused, and then he didn't hesitate. The Emperor Yang ring turned slightly in his hand, and the fiery red long sword appeared out of thin air. When the fiery red long sword appeared, the space around the long sword exuded an extremely terrifying power. Obviously, this is the power of the fiery red sword itself. This is just a broken state and it has such power. If it is at its peak, then the power of this fairy sword is also. Senior, catch it. Then Xiao Yang held it with one hand, threw it heavily, and flew towards the Nine-Soul Monument. The reason why Xiao Yang didn't throw the long sword to Xiao Ye is because the power of the Nine-Soul Monument is more powerful, and the attribute of the Nine-Soul Monument is also a fire attribute, and the bonus to the Immortal Sword is even more terrifying. It's actually a fairy sword. Xiao Yang, this guy. Luo Guang also said enviously. He knew the value of this fairy sword very well. The value of this fairy sword is more precious than the fighting skills of the fairy. Good sword. The Nine-Soul Monument also caught the fiery red long sword, and then an extremely pure force spread throughout the body. Xiao Ye, give me some time. The Nine Souls Monument also said solemnly, and after that, the fiery red sword in his hand stood in front of his eyes. His eyes were slightly closed, but those with discerning eyes would find the world around the Nine Souls Monument. The power is gathering towards the Nine Soul Monument with rapid power. It's just that the power of heaven and earth in this corpse forest is also extremely thin. With the injection of power between heaven and earth, the immortal sword in front of the Nine Souls Monument also has a ray of milky white light surrounding the sword body. It's only about a quarter of it. It's still quite a bit of time before it's all around. Damn old ghost. Are you going to go all out? Yin Xie also saw the Juhun Monument so poised, and felt a wave of death. Obviously, this fiery red fairy sword gave him extremely strong pressure. Boy, it's a good thing to break this emperor. After this matter is over, this emperor will definitely kill you. Yin Xie also said something vicious to Xiao Yang. After he finished speaking, the dark chains were instantly closed, and the blood mist all over his body disappeared. It's just that an extremely terrifying suction force spreads out from the center of the evil in an instant. And with the fluctuation of yin and evil, Xiao Ye also suddenly understood. Damn yin evil, actually want to use the ghost energy in this Yin-Yu and corpse forest to break through the 7th grade ghost emperor. Xiao Ye is also clear that the higher the rank, the difference in strength is also very obvious. Xiao Ye has been in the yin corpse forest for so many years, and she naturally knows the method used by the yin evil, but this method is quite dangerous. But there is no doubt that if it succeeds, the strength of this evil will also increase. What a terrifying lunatic. Xiao Ye also snorted coldly and then her color became solemn. For example, right now, his own strength should be in the middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor, and the strength of the Nine-Soul Monument is in the late stage of the 7-star Do Emperor. The two of them joined forces to deal with the Infernal Core, which is comparable to the peak strength of the human 7-star Do Emperor without any advantage. If this is to make Yin Xie break through the 7-star Do Emperor, then what awaits them? Only death. Everyone, help me, Xiao Ye also said to everyone on the ground. Although the people on the ground didn't understand what was going on, they saw the terrifying attack of the Nine Souls Monument in the sky, and the evil spirit that was absorbing the ghost energy in the entire Yin Corpse forest. Suddenly, Shabu. As Xiao Ye's words just fell, everyone on the ground also understood the seriousness of this matter. They did not stand by and did not stand by. They exerted their vindictive energy to the extreme, and then turned into extremely terrifying forces that gathered directly to the Nine Souls Monument. Then, after the transformation of the Nine Soul Monument, a stream of pure power slowly surrounded the fairy sword. Xiao Ye also knows that attacking the Yin Corpse at this time is also a waste of effort, so it is also a steady stream of vindictiveness towards the Nine Soul Monument. On the other hand, the suction force of the evil is also continuously expanding, and then the entire evil corpse forest is madly rushing towards him, and his breath is slowly soaring. In the sky at this time, an extremely hot and pure force is slowly brewing, and another extremely evil and strange force is constantly soaring and growing. On the ground, Mu Yingying, Qiu Huanyao, Luo Guang, and the others also continuously sent their power to the Nine-Soul Monument. This is the ongoing battle between the powerhouses. Xiao Yang also sighed with emotion, and then while delivering Do Qi, he kept swallowing the medicinal pills, so the Do Qi didn't consume much. It's a little strange, hasn't the evil yin of Hongshan Hankai already broken through the seal? There are 2 ghost spirits, and I haven't seen these 3 people yet. It's really strange. Xiao Yang said, but he had to keep a hand in his heart. After all, it is the thinking of ordinary people. The 2 parts of the twin ghost emperors have just broken through the seal and must be merged into one. The strength of the evil is also the peak in the true sense, and it can be called a twin ghost emperor. Could it be that the evil's head was caught in the door? Xiao Yang said, but he didn't really think that since the twin ghost emperors could be sealed by many Shentian powerhouses, it was definitely not the case. Fool. So there is only one possible outcome. It seems that something happened to the evil yin in Hankai. Xiao Yang also muttered. Yueru, Mu Feng, give you medicinal pills, remember to keep some strength, I always feel that something is wrong. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, some medicinal pills also appeared in front of the 2 of them out of thin air. The 2 were not polite and put it away directly. After all, there is no way to restore grudges here, and there are many people with mixed eyes. This kind of high-level recovery medicine cannot avoid jealousy from others. In the sky, 2 extremely obvious forces were also split apart. The body of the Nine-Soul Monument hangs in the air, and the whole body emits a monstrous light, and the fairy sword in the hand shoots several meters of light. The whole person stood still in the air, only to see his hands clenched tightly, his eyes serious, and a powerful aura erupted from his whole body. All around, red brilliance burst, and a dazzling brilliance enveloped the Nine-Soul Monument in the middle. One is to prevent the invasion of ghosts, and the other is to accumulate the power of this fairy sword. The Juhun Monument has strange handprints on the chest with both hands, and the whole person is like a god, and the whole body bursts with dazzling brilliance. As the light of the immortal sword in the hand of the Nine-Soul Stele became stronger and stronger, it was about to fill the entire body of the immortal sword faintly, and a wave of destructive fluctuations slowly spread out. It's still a little bit. The Nine-Souls Monument muttered, and then he didn't pay attention to the evil spirits. He concentrated on the sword in his hand to gather Do Qi. In addition, many people on the ground gathered Do Qi. The power is also increasing rapidly. Boom boom boom. On the other side, the terrifying suction force of the evil, the constant stream of ghost qi continuously converged on the evil body from all directions. With the injection of the ghost gas, the evil body also swelled up, obviously because of this extremely huge caused by ghosts. Minutes passed by. As the huge ghost qi gathered together, a cloud of extremely thick black qi gas could not help but surround the Inxia body with a bang, and the Inxia ghost emperor slowly opened his eyes. Yin Xie also snorted coldly. Nine-Soul Monument, it seems that I am the one who lost this time. Ha ha ha. After saying that, he burst into laughter. A more terrifying force also swept in. Damn it. Half-step 8th rank Ghost Emperor. Wu Jiang also said secretly, obviously the original evil spirit, although the strength is the peak of 7th rank Ghost Emperor, but there is no small distance from this half-step 8th rank. 8th rank Ghost Emperor. The red-clothed Changyu also said solemnly, obviously the strength of this evil spirit has surpassed his cognition and control. Half-step 8th rank. Xiao Yang also shrank his pupils tightly. It was obviously the first time he encountered such a powerful enemy, and he immediately clenched his fists, watching the changes in the sky vigilantly. It's just that at this time, the flow of Do Qi in Xiao Yang's body has obviously slowed down, as if it was suppressed by the evil that is comparable to that of a human 8-star Do Emperor. Not only Xiao Yang, Yu is also biting her lips, obviously more uncomfortable than Xiao Yang, and Mu Feng and the others are also suppressed by this terrifying evil power. The strength of this evil has also been sealed for such a long time, so this breakthrough is so easy. But now he hasn't really broken through the half-step 8th rank. Although the concentration of ghost energy in the body is already comparable to that of the half-step 8th rank Ghost Emperor, but at best he can count as a half-step into the 8th rank Ghost Emperor. It's just a Ghost Emperor. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly, obviously even if he was as strong as a human 8-star fighting emperor, his master, the Golden Dragon King, did not take it seriously. It's so true. But this half-step 8th rank Ghost Emperor can now dominate this place. Xiao Yang also frowned slightly, obviously secretly closing the Lotus of Annihilation tightly, as long as there is a slight disturbance. The strength of this ghost emperor. Tianhua Shenghu also shrank his pupils tightly, because even though he was far away from the evil spirits in the sky, he could clearly feel the extremely powerful ghost energy in the evil spirit. Mu Yingying, I'm going to the space here, you can go out quickly. Tianhua Shenghu also said a little weakly. What about you? Mu Yingying also said softly. This is my home. I can't stand to see it destroyed like this. Tianhua Shenghu also said, and then he looked at the ghosts and some trees that were constantly flying from all over the corpse forest. Some eyes are red. But then you will die. Mu Yingying was also slightly at a loss. Don't you humans have a saying like this? A man and a man are inherently dead, or heavier than Mount Tai, or lighter than a feather. After speaking, Tianhua Shenghu was not looking at Mu Yingying, but his breath had already soared to the limit, and then his eyes were fixed on the sky. The two powers that are just around the corner. Mu Yingying's eyes moved slightly. She obviously wanted to call back the heavenly fire sacred tiger, but she couldn't say anything. The Nine-Soul Monument let out a loud cry, only to hear him say, "Evil sword." Immediately, the surrounding airflow surged, and the entire area was dozens of feet, and the space was filled with a powerful and pure power. I saw the Juhun Monument holding a red fairy sword and standing in the sky. A light burst above his head instantly, and a flashing red and white sword of the void was held high above his head. In the blink of an eye, the broken light disappeared instantly, and the sword of the void instantly burst into a dazzling light, and it turned into a giant sword of about several hundred feet. Countless spells flickered on the sword, which were extremely clear, and were continuously scattered from top to bottom along with the red and white light. It's just that everyone on the ground can feel that this fairy sword contains an extremely powerful force of destruction and purification. Since Yin Xie broke through the half-step 8th rank Ghost Emperor, he has been staring at the Nine-Soul Monument, as if he must win. Everyone knows that this brings together the battle of the strongest in the corpse forest. Immediately, it's just right. Yin Xie laughed loudly, then his eyes narrowed slightly, and an extremely powerful aura emanated from his body. Countless lonely souls and wild ghosts also came out of the evil body. This is the power of ghost. The ghost of the secluded spring, who was hiding in the dark, also shrank his pupils tightly, staring at the evil in the sky in front of him. Damn old guy, actually hiding such important information. Yu Quan also secretly said, obviously surprised by the ferocious ghost face on this sinister body. Others may not know what this is, but Yu Quan is very clear. It was this kind of ghost power that slaughtered the entire village where he lived. Although Yu Quan knows that this evil may not be the culprit who killed his village in the first place, but it is only possible to find a breakthrough from him. Because at the beginning, although their village was slaughtered, the clone Yu Quan was surprised when he collected the corpse, and he didn't find his younger brother's body. Therefore, Yu Quan has not only been looking for opportunities to become stronger these years, but has also been looking for his younger brother, because he always believed that his younger brother would not die easily. It is rumored that people in the ghost world will be given the power of ghosts by ghosts when they make great contributions. Could it be that the power of this evil spirit is? Yu Quan also clenched his fists and said. Hongye on the side also noticed that Yu Quan Hihi was emotionally unstable. He just wanted to comfort him, but Yu Quan calmed down again, so he had no choice but to do it, and then stared at the battle in the sky. At this time, the black chi and ghost chi all over Yin Xie's body are extremely thick, and above the ghost chi, the ghostly ghost faces of some extremely ferocious lonely ghosts and wild ghosts also appear. The power of ghosts. The Golden Dragon King also murmured while staring at the evil spirits in the air. What is that? Xiao Yang also stared at the evil spirit in the sky with a puzzled look, because Xiao Yang discovered that since the evil had just broken through the half-step 8th rank Ghost Emperor, the ghost energy in the evil spirit it seems to have discovered a world-shaking change. If the ghost chi in Yin Xie was 1 before, the ghost chi in Yin Xie is now 10. Moreover, according to Xiao Yang's perception and judgment, the mutation of this evil must be related to other things, and it must not be related to promotion, because Xiao Yang has never heard that promotion will change his breath. The most important thing to advance is to enhance your aura. The power in the ghost world is divided into ghost chi, which is possessed by ordinary ghosts and some ghost emperors. Their strongest are only at the pinnacle level of the 9th rank Ghost Emperor. They are the same as the peak do di of human beings, except that there are 2 kinds of power above the ghost. One is the power of ghosts. This level of power can only be absorbed by real ghosts and immortals. This evil is only half-step 8th rank strength. How could it have this kind of power? The Golden Dragon King was also surprised. Obviously, his brows were furrowed, and he said solemnly, If it is said that Yin Xie has just been promoted to the 8th rank and has not made his master Jin Longwang unhappy, then the power of ghosts in Yin Xie now makes his master Jin Longwang not surprised. The power of ghosts in this evil spirit. Xiao Yang also stared at the evil in the sky, and found that he was surrounded by some hideous faces. It's just strange that the hideous faces surrounding Yin Xie exude an extremely evil aura. Master, what about the last one? Xiao Yang also murmured, the 3 breaths in this ghost world represent 3 levels of powerhouses. The power of this ghost is so powerful, then the last kind word of strength. That kind of power is too far away, you still don't know it right now. But don't worry, the top powers in the 7 worlds are stalemate with each other, so you don't have to worry. The Golden Dragon King also said. The war is about to begin. Xiao Yang also cast his gaze into the sky. In the sky at this time, a war is about to break out. On the one hand, Xiao Ya's whole body was full of vindictiveness, and her aura was extremely sluggish. The remaining 9-soul monument also had a solemn expression, and the fiery red fairy sword in her hand was held high above her head. The whole body is already glowing red and white light, very dazzling. In this dark corpse forest where the dark moon spreads, the red and white fairy swords emit dazzling rays of light and an extremely pure aura. As soon as the surrounding ghost energy touches it, it is evaporated out of thin air. Yin Xie on the side also looked particularly ferocious, and then slowly raised his hand and pointed lightly at the position where the 9 souls monument was. Ghosts and Hong Fei. A finger that seems to be an understatement, but it contains extremely terrifying power. As Yin Xie pointed his finger at the 9 souls monument, a terrifying ghostly aura that filled the entire Yin Corpse forest sky also burst out from Yin Xie's body. Then he attacked the 9 souls monument with an evil aura that was like a broken bamboo. In the black rays of light, some very hideous faces kept emerging, and then they opened their ***** mouths to the place where the 9 souls monument was, and shouted sweet. The scene was extremely sad. Seeing that Yin Xie launched the attack first, the 9 soul monument also shouted loudly, and the immortal sword clenched on the head with both hands slashed down heavily. Shocking evil sword. Following the powerful slashing of the 9 souls monument, a red and white sword beam about 100 meters in size also rushed away against the evil attack. In the sky at this time, 2 terrifying rays of light are rapidly gathering at a speed visible to the naked eye. The people on the ground also held their breath, nervously watching the confrontation in the sky. Everyone at this time is also clear. In this fight, the winner will be decided. If they fail, then their fate is also. Immediately, they all clenched their fists. Boom boom boom. In the sky the terrifying 2 forces slammed into each other at the next moment. Following the confrontation between the 2 red and white rays of light and the pitch-black evil beam of light, the entire space exploded slightly, and waves of extremely hot fire waves also spread out from the explosion circle and scattered everywhere. Although Zhenxie's sword is the nemesis of this ghost emperor, after all, the immortal sword is broken, and now it's a cloudy moon, which has greatly enhanced the strength of the evil spirits. Get ready, there are several strong forces around here, and there may be fierce battles in a while. Xiao Yang released a flame barrier, and then said to Yueru and Mu Feng who were beside him. When the 2 heard the words, they nodded slightly. After all, dealing with the terrifying pressure of the evil aura already made it a little bit hard for them to breathe. Now, with Xiao Yang's barrier protection, it was a lot better. The shocking explosion in the sky lasted for a while, and then it dissipated, and everyone on the ground breathed a sigh of relief, because the 2 were evenly matched. However, everyone also knows that the power in the 9 soul monument and Yin Xie has also been consumed a lot in the previous battle. It's not very favorable for us. Hudu also secretly said. The remaining players who participated in the point-grabbing competition. Follow me. Destroy the Ghost Emperor. Wu Jiang said it too. Sacred Tiger of Heavenly Fire, Hudu, help me kill the Ghost Emperor, and the others will support me on the ground. To prevent ghosts from attacking. With the fall of Wu Jiang's voice, everyone on the ground also woke up. At this time, they were all grasshoppers on the same boat, and there was no time to think about it. Tianhua Shenghu and Hudu Wujiang suddenly lifted off into the air and moved towards the battle circle, while the others gathered slowly, watching every move in the sky and on the ground vigilantly. 2 5-star fighting emperors and 1 6-star fighting emperor joined the battle. Ha ha ha. The 9 soul monument, your strength is getting more and more tyrannical, but I just don't know how long you can hold on to this level of battle. This is the Yin Corpse forest. The sinister smile was also extraordinarily strange. It's just that Yin Xie didn't notice the position of his heart in his body, and the tightly protected heart beat violently. Cough, cough, cough. Xiao Yan also coughed, and then slowly looked at Yin Xie. The battle just now seemed to be evenly matched, but it was actually the Nine-Soul Monument that lost. If Xiao Yan hadn't helped the Nine-Soul Monument resist a lot of attacks in the end, then the Nine-Soul Monument itself might have just fallen directly. I didn't expect the power of this evil spirit to be so terrifying. The Nine-Soul Monument also snorted coldly. Then she looked at Xiao Yan gratefully. I'm fine. But this evil has become a big trouble. Xiao Yan coughed violently. Obviously the vindictive energy in her body was also consumed 90% of the time. Leave the rest to me, you can rest for a while. After the Nine-Soul Monument finished speaking, an extremely pure power also entered Xiao Yan's body. Yeah. Xiao Yan also returned to the ground, but no one paid attention what Xiao Yan on the ground seemed to be doing. The Nine-Soul Monument commanded the immortal sword in its hands with all its strength, and then without giving the evil spirits a chance to breathe, it moved it to the sky above the evil spirits. Body is fixed in it. In the enclosed space, the fiery red and white rays of light are constantly exchanged, constantly weakening the black aura on the evil body. Damn the power of purification. Yin Xie also said angrily, obviously quite afraid of this with the power of purification. Immediately, Yin Xie also discovered that there were 3 more people in the battle, and said, "Is this your righteous people? More bullies less." Although Yin Xie said so, but he didn't mean the slightest bit of fear. Stop talking nonsense. Go. Wu Jiang also said. In the sky at this time, Hu Du, Wu Jiang, and the heavenly fire sacred tiger are all surrounded by water. When the 3 saw the Nine Souls Monument, they launched the attack first, and when the 3 saw it, they quickly dodged, staring at the powerful attack of the Nine Souls Monument. At the moment when the mysterious space covered the evil spirits, only the roar of the evil spirits was heard, and then the blood-colored brilliance flowed all over the body, forming a strange body shield. There is a very thick ghostly aura attached to this body shield, and as soon as it encounters the red and white light of the fairy sword in the hand of the Nine Souls Steely, there will be countless dense explosions. In the confined space, the powerful ghost power slammed wildly, trying to break through the restriction. In mid-air, the Nine Souls Monument saw that Yin Xie mobilized most of its power to break through the power of purification, and it also smiled, and then there were countless mysterious spells on the sword in its hand, and they were imprinted on the body of Yin Xie. The power of ghosts gas in an instant, an incomparably powerful destructive force was generated, and the vibrations of Yin Xie's whole body were disturbed. The hideous face in the jet-black power of the ghost also exuded an extremely mournful howl, and the aura above the evil body instantly dimmed a lot. It seems that the incomparably mysterious runes of the Nine-Soul Monument, combined with the power of the fairy sword, also have a very powerful restraint on Yin Xie himself. After all, the Ghost Emperor is also a ghost in the ghost world, with a ghostly and eerie aura. However, the evil spirits are also powerful. After a period of dimness, the brilliance of the whole body actually became stronger again, fighting against the immortal swords and mysterious runes of the Nine Souls Monument. Hu Du and Wu Jiang glanced at the Nine Souls Monument and seemed to sense the mutation on the Nine Souls Monument, but neither of them said anything. The 2 jumped up at the same time and launched an attack on the evil spirits. In midair, Hu Du and Wu Jiang were on the left and right, and 2 extremely terrifying beams of flame energy quickly disappeared towards the evil spirits. As the speed increased, the 2 of them whistled softly at the same time, and the 2 figures turned into a dragon, one left and one right, in a staggered rotation, with 2 powerful flames between them, and they suddenly attacked. From a distance, as the speed of the spinning double dragon accelerated, 2 beams of light condensed into a beam of light in a blink of an eye, with a destructive and extremely hot aura, violently hitting the evil body protection bloodhood. Superior. The powerful flame power and the dazzling beam of light broke through the purification space under the mysterious fairy sword in one fell swoop, and violently hit the evil spirits. There was a wave of light and shadow, accompanied by an earth-shattering explosion, and a substantive black gas filled the surroundings in an instant. The strong light was dazzling, and in the 2 cold shouts, there was a roar of anger, which shot out in several directions. On the ground, under the powerful destructive force, a bottomless pit appeared, billowing smoke and dust fluttered, and the grey dust was like a layer of water mist, floating in the air. On the ground, Mu Yingying and Xiao Yang were all doing their best to use Do-Chi to protect their bodies, and they were deeply shocked by the scene in front of them. It's just that I couldn't help being deeply shocked by the big pit above the ground, and even more shocked by the scene above the sky. The power of the evil spirits to protect the body and ghosts is extremely terrifying. Even the terrifying blow of the Nine Souls Monument and the Immortal Sword was only a tie. Unexpectedly, Hu Du and Wu Jiang broke through the yin so easily. The evil spirit of protecting the body. I saw that Hu Du and Wu Jiang joined forces to strike with all their might, sandwiching the might of Xion, and finally broke through Yinxie's powerful body-protecting ghost, revealing its body. In the sky a few meters away, the black aura of Yinxie was rolling over and over, and at the moment when it was ejected, a black thing appeared in the heart and disappeared out of thin air. However, Xiao Yang only glanced at it, and it was gone. It was covered up by the closed black light. Hu Du and Wu Jiang's faces were slightly pale, and they gently retreated to the side of the Nine Souls Monument. Obviously, the two of them had also exerted all their abilities to break through the evil spirits. And the Nine Souls Monument on the side stopped calmly, staring at the terrifying evil spirit. The Juhun Monument's eyes turned cold, and the fiery red do qi all over the body instantly covered it, and the next moment it appeared in front of Yinxie's eyes. Taking advantage of the fact that Yinxie was not paying attention, without giving him any time to breathe, he slapped Yinxie with both hands heavily. Yinxie mixed with an extremely angry voice, "It's actually the fighting skills of the Burning Incense Pavilion." Yinxie obviously recognized the attacks of Hu Du and Wu Jiang, and said ruthlessly, "Damn, you hateful humans, how dare you hurt my body? You!" Before he could finish speaking, he met the attack of the Nine Souls Monument. I saw a black mist on the palms of Yinxie, and that terrifying aura, even a few meters away from Wu Jiang, could clearly feel that, on top of that, there was an extremely powerful and contained aura. The breath of extremely strong erosive power. This video will end here.